It has been described as the simplest and noblest among the noble gallery of all great parables. The story of the Good Samaritan brings together unlikely people with unexpected results, where love knows no bounds. Another example of God's relationship to man occurs when Moses meets him for the first time. A flame in a bush, with God calling, "Moses, Moses, here am I." Our theophany occurred in a different, but no less dramatic fashion.
When Cindy got me on the board to work on the facilities, I should have known it was a setup. I didn't realize we were facing these type of problems. So our first solution, so to speak, to the facilities problem that we had was to buy the land across the street. And then Cindy and I were to go to the City of White Settlement and convince them that they were going to close the street.
And they weren't the least bit interested in helping us close that road. That really kind of put an end to staying at the current campus. The board finally decided that if the school stayed where it was, it would die. They told us to go out and look for a property that we could afford to perhaps move the school.
I think that initially that there were a lot of people that weren't real comfortable with, particularly as board members, making such a dramatic decision that was going to have an impact on this school for the next 80 years or maybe longer.
We narrowed it down to about 6 sites, and then from there we narrowed it down to 2 sites where we took the board. And the board made the decision to try to purchase the site where we are currently.
As I found out who owned it, it was a guy by the name of Shaul Baruch. I told Cindy that, you know, we're probably not going to have a lot of success. I mean, we're going to be talking to a guy that is Iranian originally, that came to this country as a political refugee because he was Jewish and effectively was going to be persecuted if he stayed in the country. So we went over there, met with Shaul. We told him our story. You know, we got a great school. You know, hope you believe in education. You know, we can't afford to pay a lot because we're a small private school. Shaul looked at us and he said, "I'm going to help you." He said, "When I came to this country, when I fled Iran," he said, "I ended up in Florida. My profession had been teaching, but," he said, "I didn't have a teaching certificate in the U.S., couldn't speak the language. And there was an Episcopal priest that took an interest in me, helped me get my teaching certificate, enrolled me in English classes so I could learn English." And he said, "This is my chance to pay him back." I mean, that's a God thing. But I'm glad that we had the faith to do it.
In Charles Portis's first novel, the protagonist, Mattie Ross, is a portrait of unflinching courage, as is the one-eyed, hard-scrabble U.S. Marshal Rooster Cogburn. Despite their many differences, they display what becomes the title of this iconic American work, True Grit. True grit, along with an abundance of faith and grace, have made our community strong and have built a 21st century campus for a 21st century world. I'm Tad Bird, and this is the All Saints Story.